Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel, Lone Wolf 902. Today we've got a brand new unreleased tent coming from Onetigris. There's nothing about this online, not even on Onetigris. No photos, no video, nothing. So I've had this now for a number of weeks. This and two other tents actually. This one is called the Roc Shield. Okay. Gonna go ahead and undo it out of the bag. First off, it does have external pulls, so we'll go ahead and undo that. And we'll get the pulls set off to the side. Now the tent does also come with all the pegs and all the guy lines inside of it. Go ahead and grab those out as well. Generous stuff sack, so we've got pulls, stuff sack, guy lines, and the tent. So bring guys in for a closer look at each piece, and then we'll go ahead and we'll set it up. Alright guys, so now that we got everything out of the main stuff sack here, we have all of the pieces that come with the tent. So we have a lot of pull sections. Now these are new pulls. These are actually really awesome. There's no shock cord in them. So there's 4 pulls, or 4 finished pull sections I should say. Once you go ahead and click these together, really simple, push the thumb button, and then there's an end cap right here. So this piece has got a rounded piece. Go ahead and click them together, and so on and so forth. Very simple construction. Got a nice CNC top up here that goes through the grommet of the tent, which I want to show you in a little bit. But it has all the pulls, and these are branded, by the way. They got the Onetigris branding on there. It's a pretty nice touch. They're actually a really high quality aluminum pull, so really happy with that. It also comes with all the guy lines that you need for the tent, and these all have adjusters fixed to them already, so you can go ahead and adjust it in and out, which is really important for these style of tents. Has all the pegs that you need, so I've got a handful of pegs. Okay, we got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 with this tent. It has a large stuff sack which holds all of the pulls, and then it has a smaller stuff sack which holds 2 full sections of pipe once they're all disassembled. So the reason why they did that is you could set this tent up with all of the pulls and have the roof pitched open like an awning. Or you could bring only 2 pulls and pitch the tent with the smaller bag. You put 2 pulls in there, and you could pitch it just as a tent without the extra weight of carrying the poles and having an awning if you don't want to set it up that way. And I'll get more into that once we set up the tent. You'll kind of understand what I'm talking about. So, and then we've got the tent itself. So, pretty awesome. Now, this video, I'm not going to talk about any specs because I don't have them, okay? I just received the name of the tent last night from Onetigris. They sent me a message saying, go ahead, film the videos, here's the name. So, very, very, very new. So I don't have the weight, I don't have the size, I don't have the fabric, I don't have any specs at all. All I have is the name of the tent, which is the Roc Shield, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead, set this up. I'm not gonna bring you guys along for the setup process. I'm just gonna get it pitched, and then we're gonna run through the different configurations of how it can be set up. And take this as more of a preview than a review, because I've used it once or twice, but I haven't used it enough to actually review it. It's more of a quick show you what it looks like, show you what's on the market, what they're coming out with. And yeah, so I'm going to go ahead, set it up, and then I'll bring you guys back and show you the different configurations, and we'll take it from there. Alright guys, so here we have the Onetigris Roc Shield, and this is basically set up in its basic formation with just 2 pulls. So I've got 1 pull inside up here. They do come through the tent through little brass grommet rings, and then another one at the other end. So right now it's just pegs on the ground, 2 pulls, that's it. I have some guy lines here. I'm going to go ahead and guy out from these points here, give it some more body, and then I'm going to take you guys around, open up the door and look in before we go opening up flaps and setting up other pulls and taking it to a different level. I find it's easier just to show the basic tent, show it, guide out, and then start moving inside. So that's what we're going to do. Alright guys, so I've gone ahead and I've guyed out the sides. So I've got 1 guy line here, 1 over there. I did go ahead and guy line the pull out, because as soon as you start guying out the sides, this top ridge, like any tent, wants to bow down because you're pulling on the sides. So if you do pull out on the sides quite tight, you will have to guy these out that way just to give it more structure, which is good anyways, because this really locks it down in the wind and it doesn't move. Like if there was a high wind, all these edges are really tight. So there's a lot of guy outs holding this tent still. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give you guys a look here. So you can see it is quite wide, so the wind's not going to blow in on it when you're inside. It's not going to blow in on your face or anything. I'm going to go ahead and open up the end zipper. Now, this tent has a very interesting zipper system. If I open that zipper and then open it, it's not unzipped, okay? So it opens up to a secondary panel. I want to come into that in a little bit, but there is a second zipper. You gotta unzip, and then you gain access to the tent. So I'm going to go ahead and roll this guy back so we can have a look inside. And right off the bat, you can see it is a large shelter. Very, very large. Okay, so you could be sleeping on the ground in here, or you could set up a camp cot. You could set up 2 cots. You could do whatever you like. So I'm going to roll the doors back, and then I'll kind of bring you guys in for a little bit of a closer look, and you'll be able to see just how much room is inside. Okay, so coming inside of the tent, you can see, actually I was going to kneel down, but I'll stand up first. I'm 5'7", and I'm standing, and I do have to kind of hunch over a little bit, but for the most part, I'm able to stand inside and get dressed or do whatever I need to do, okay? So this tent is excellent for 2 people, no problem, okay? You could put a sleeping pad here, a sleeping pad there, still have room in the middle. And then at the end, we got this little flap here. I know it's kind of in the way now, but I'm going to show you what it's for. I can zip it down and kind of minimize it a little bit, but it is kind of in the way. Not a major problem because, like I said, I want to show you guys what that's for after. But if you did want to put your gear down here on the other side of this pole, there's a huge vestibule. You can store your backpack, your cooking gear, whatever you wanted to do in there, and basically save this area for sleeping. So you could do cots, you could do sleep on the ground, you could have 1 cot, and then you can have a table and a chair. You can have a dining area. You can do all kinds of stuff inside of this tent, all right? With these side pullouts, it maximizes the room in here incredibly. This is probably one of my favorite Onetigris tents now, and I'm dying for winter to actually try it because this thing, it screams winter camping, okay? It really does. Now, there is no stove jack in this. I personally would really, really like to see a stove jack put in here. Maybe here would be really, really good. Kind of put the stove here, have a stove jack there, remove this flap. Would be excellent. So I'm not sure if that's where they're going with this, if maybe they want to turn it into a hot tent, because I feel this would make one heck of an awesome hot tent, okay? You could be sitting here on your cot, reach over, load your stove, have your table over here, your chair, like I said, you could be eating, doing your stuff. This would make an excellent hot tent, really, really nice. So, gonna move outside because it is extremely hot. One thing I will say before I get out of the tent, this door opens identical to what you're looking at right now. So you can open both sides wide open, or you can open one panel or open the other, whatever you want to do, you can do. So just wanted to show you the inside. It is very, very large, and it is extremely hot in here right now because it is about 30 degrees outside. So I'm going to jump out of the tent, I'm going to zip the door shut, and then I'm going to show you what you could do as far as using the other poles, because remember, this comes with 4 poles. We've only got 1, 2 in play right now. So I'm going to get out, get the other poles, zip the door shut, and I'm going to show you exactly how you can set it up in maybe, I don't know, maybe spring, summer, kind of fallish, to be a little bit more indoors, but be outdoors at the same time. Okay, so here we have a very different setup with this tent. So using the other 2 additional poles that come with the tent, it allows you to really open it up and turn this into almost like an outdoor office, okay? Now, there is 3 zippers on this panel. Earlier when I was saying it's kind of a messed up zipper configuration, and the reason for that is 1 zipper's here, and that zipper zips to this. There's also another zipper track over here that doubles up with this zipper. So there's a lot of zippers going on here. The reason why they did that is because if you were to set it up this way, you can use it like this without that zipped up. So this is open, or you can go ahead and grab the zipper, zip it all the way down, and turn this into a panel. And if I come around to the side here, I'm basically inside of a complete, almost like a beach shelter, okay? You could be at the beach, it'll block all the wind, the sun. You'd be inside here, you'd be in the winter time, you could be having your cooking area, whatever you need to do in here. Really, really awesome. So I'm gonna bring you guys around the front and you can see just how much room is in here. All right, so coming inside, First, standing up, you can see my head is just barely touching the top. Now you can clearly see the 4 poles is what I was talking about. We got one back here, one there, one over here. So doing this setup, you could pretty much, a full-size picnic table would fit in here. So if you were at a park, you could pitch this over a picnic table and have a really private kind of eating area. But if you were out camping, you could have your bed set up in here, already set up. So I could basically be sitting on my bed area right now. And without changing anything inside, I wouldn't have to move my sleeping bag, I wouldn't have to move anything. I could simply undo one of those zippers like I did, adding that extra panel, put the 2 poles in or guide out the 2 trees, however you want to do it, and basically open up your entire house and be sitting in your bed, cooking your breakfast on your canister stove, have your table, chair, whatever you wanted to do. You could be inside your shelter looking out at a river, a lake, whatever you had out there in front of you. So this is a pretty awesome setup. It is very easy to set up. I know it looks really complicated with all the different lines and poles. It is one of the easiest complicated shelters that I have, okay, if that makes any sense. It looks complicated, but it's very easy. Everything stands up and all the angles they're made really, really well. So as soon as you guy out, that panel goes nice and tight. A lot of other tents you'll get that are complicated. You pull it out and one side will kind of flop, it'll flap in the wind. And this tent, the geometry was done really, really well. So every panel stays tight when you guy it out. All right guys, so this is the last configuration that I'm going to show you. There is many more if you want to get more creative with your setups, but these are just the basic, easy type of setups. So basically we went ahead and what I did is rolled these up. So it's just a straight roof, that's it, no side panels. There is a ton of room still. This offers more ventilation for wind, more view if that's what you're looking for. Now, these tents, like I was saying, there is no information on this, so if you are looking for information, right now, the time of filming, there is nothing even on the Onetigris website. They're going to give me the go-ahead when to launch the video, when they launch the product, okay? So I'm filming this now. This video probably won't be out for another few weeks, but I am going to mess around with it. So for the meantime, this is a preview. It's not a review, okay? So I'm not going to go around and show you all the little close-ups of the tabs, the zippers, the pulls, and all that stuff. It's just a basic look at the tent to give you guys an idea of what's coming, what's out there, and if it's going to work for you or not. So, awesome shelter. The first setup that I showed you guys where everything was closed and buttoned up, I really do hope that they put a stove jack in it, okay? And Onetigris, I know you're watching this, I know you're listening, so you go ahead and cut a hole here, much like another tent that we have been developing together, which is a secret. Go ahead and put a stove jack here if you guys are kind of interested in doing that, because I think this tent would make an excellent hot tent. I really do. So if you guys put a long rectangle, not the same square kind of jack that's in the smoky hut, but I think if you guys go ahead and put a longer rectangle stove jack, because that wall is steep and that pipe is going to ride on both sides of the wall very close as it goes out, so you need a nice long rectangle jack. But I would really like to see a stove jack put in this tent. Excellent room for a stove, ample amount of room. It's begging for a stove jack. So that's all I got for you guys. I'm going to go ahead and tear it down, and I'm going to show you another look at it on the table. And I'm going to compare it with 2 other Onetigris tents, probably the Tangram and the Backwoods Bungalow bundled up inside of the bag, just to give you guys a size comparison, because this is actually shockingly small when it's in the bag. So I want to get it packed up, tore down, and then I want to get the other tents on the table and show you guys a size comparison really quick. Alright guys, so here we have the Roc Shields all packed away. I have 2 additional tents. I've got my camo Tangram and I've got the new Iron Wall hot tent, okay? So this tent, the Roc Shield, has all of the poles on the outside of the pack. Now, when I set the tent up originally, I used 2 poles to give it the basic shape. That's how I'm intending on using it. I don't see myself using it with the awning open too often. I'll use it, but probably not too often like that. All of those 4 poles are inside this bag. So if you want to use just the tent setup, the first configuration, you could leave 2 pole sections home, okay? And they actually fit inside of the bag, so you don't have to have them on the outside like this, okay? So this is the Roc Shield, all of the pegs, all of the poles, all the guy lines, everything inside of there. Here is a tangram. This is my camouflage tangram that was sent to me from Onetigris. Give you a look at the size comparison there. And I brought the smoky hut or the iron wall out because everyone knows how small these can compress. They go down to nothing. Now right now I do have the poles in the bag, so I can't scrunch it down, but that'll give you a pretty good idea of how small that is. Okay, so the tangram is a fairly medium-sized tent. It's a two-person tent. This guy, the Roc Shield, I mean, you just seen it set up. It was big shelter. So to have that packed down into this size pack should give you guys a good idea of the form factor. Okay, it's a big tent that packs down small. All right, so that's all I got for you guys in this preview video. I'm sure there'll be much more to come, and I'll definitely have reviews and overnighters using this as well once the product is released to the public. If you guys do have any questions, obviously if you're watching this video, it has been released. If you have any questions, drop down in the comment section, send me a message, whatever you got to do, and I'll do my best to get back to you guys on that. As far as the other tents, the iron wall, I have reviews of the iron wall, and I have reviews of the tangram tent, so if you're interested in seeing those, check those out as well. And that's all I got for you. So peace out, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.